Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, all-pro record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback to intercept 50 interceptions during the 16-game season era. Thursday night vibes. How y'all doing out there tonight, man? It was almost another tied game. We was almost up. Late night. We are up late night, baby. Let me bring on my co-host, 2-3 Drees, baby, and have a good time tonight, man. How we doing there tonight, man?
What's up, man? Another prime time overtime. That's like
prime time overtime.
What's going on, man?
We almost had the second tie game of the season, man. That would have been hilarious, man. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to Mr. International in the building. How we doing out there? Salute, man. You know, y'all talk to us. We talk back. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, man. How we doing, man? So, man, it was a good game tonight, man. A lot of physical play on offense and defense, but it was a battle in the NFC West for the first place. Shout out to International, Mr. International. Shout out to the chat. How we doing out there today, man? Y'all talk to us. It's Thursday night vibes. We got to have a long conversation about the game tonight, the Rams versus 49ers. We have to talk about Shedeur Sanders, and we have to talk about the cornerback play because I spent over 10,000 hours playing the position cornerback, so that means I am a professional, and not only am I a professional, I have done it at the highest possible level you can do it. And Sauce Gardner is talking about his team and what's going on with the New York Jets, so we have to get into it, you know?
Definitely got to see how you feel about that.
You definitely I got to see how I feel. You know, I'm a little biased when it comes to the New York media because I feel like, man, they have the media in the chokehold, right? They have the media game in the chokehold, and you know they can pub their players up as much as they want to. But that's neither here and there. We will get into that later. So, like we said, the battle of the NFC West is what we're going to talk about first. And first place came to fruition. And that is the 49ers. 49ers are first place in the NFC West, man. And Mac Jones got the victory over the Rams, 26-23. Mac Jones threw for 342 yards on 33 completions. That can be a little subjective right there, you know. 33 completions, 342 yards. It sounds good without evaluating the game, you know.
Man,
Matthew Stafford 389 yards on 30 completions. But, you know, these two quarterbacks, they played okay. I don't see any elite play out there from, you know, one of these two quarterbacks. I know a lot of people love Matthew Stafford out there. He's a gunslinger. You know, he's a gun toter. He could throw that thing left and right, but he's a little too inconsistent for me. He'll get out there and do some things that make you scratch your head. Some inaccurate passes and things like that. But look at Mac Jones, man. Look at Mac Jones, everyone. Mac Jones.
Put some respect on his name, man. Put some respect on his name. He's out there playing on
Mac Jones, man.
Playing out there with one leg.
The ex-Jaguar, the ex-Roll Titan, the ex-Alabama Roll Titan, man. Put some respect on Mac Jones' name, man. Mac Jones out here reviving his career, man, and showing us what could have been if Belichick didn't screw the man over in New England. We all know he got screwed over because Matt Patricia was his offensive coordinator. And we don't have to say no more. If you don't know who Matt Patricia is, go look him up. And that who happened to be Mac Jones' offensive coordinator. That ruined his career. And you know, at the end of the day, Matthew Stafford rallied back. He rallied back when Mac Jones jumped out on him, you know. And Matthew Stafford, he rallied back after a slow start. But it was just too many drop passes and inconsistent play on the Rams, you know, on the offensive side of the ball from the Rams in the first half. And then in the second half, we all seen it was about to go in and win the game, had the momentum going and everything like that. And then what did the Rams do? They did the Derrick Henry. They did the Derrick Henry on him. They did it on him. Dang. What's up with these running back these days, man?
I
When the
don't
game
know,
come
man. At the
behind.
1 yard line, I know he's gonna think about that for a long time, man. They had a chance to go up there, take the lead with under 2 minutes to go in the game. I'm pretty sure they would have sealed that deal right there, then and there. Man.
100% the deal would have been sealed if Kyren Williams didn't fumble that football, man. And it was it's like playing the running back position. Sometimes you can get a little careless with the football when you have to be totally secure with the football at all times. When you're trying to go for those extra yards, as you can see, he thought the hole was wide open. He was about to walk into the touchdown after he slipped through one defender. Then he slipped up, got a little lackadaisical with the football. Those big old 300-pound linemen with those big, massive forearms and fists and hands just came through stroking on the football. Gotta always be aware of that, man. Running back, man. Running backs, they touch the football about 10%, 20% less times as a quarterback. So running backs have to secure the ball just as well as a freaking quarterback, man. And that sucks for the Rams, man. This is going to bother them, especially Kyrie Irving. I keep saying Kyrie Irving. Kyren Williams is going to be bothered just the way Derrick Henry was bothered by that fumble. And it's one thing to fumble and your team still wins the game, but when you fumble and your team loses, oh man.
Man, that was a hell of a play too. He saved the day. He need to get the game ball for saving that day.
Yeah, that was a rookie too, right? I think it was a rookie, man. It was a rookie. Good play by the rookie, man. I can't remember his name right off the top, but hopefully it'll come to me. But that was a good play by the rookie, man. I'm sure he wasn't expecting to make that play. He made the play of the game, and salute to him, man. But in the fourth quarter, with under a minute left, Kyle Shanahan didn't even attempt to make a first down to end the game, so the Rams didn't even get the ball, get a chance to get the ball back. I think that was a big mistake by the 49ers, even though they still pulled the game off, right? Yeah. He didn't even attempt to try to get a first down to stop Matthew Stafford from getting the football back. And that could have came back and bit him in the butt. Good thing Kyren Williams fumbled the ball, unfortunately for the Rams. Fortunately for the 49ers, that happened. But I think Kyle Shanahan didn't have the confidence in Matt Jones to try to attempt to win the game at that point where they were backed up on their own 1 or 2 yard line, right? Any other coach that believed in their quarterback, they definitely try to win the game at that moment. You go ahead and get that first down, and don't give the Rams and Matthew Stafford, along with Sean McVay, the opportunity, the chance to even win the game, right? When you have the opportunity to seize the moment, you have to take full advantage of it. And that was just a sign that shows that the 49ers don't have that much confidence in Mac Jones running that offense. I'm sure if Brock Purdy was there, they would have did. Yeah, they wouldn't have did a couple of quarterback sneaks and given the ball off to McCaffrey. I don't see it playing out that way. I don't see it
especially when you playing from right there. They automatically gonna get good field position, ball be around the 50 just from punting from out your own end zone. So play, they could be in field goal range to tie it up. And we saw what happened. They end up tying it up.
Yeah, it's a tight punt. The punter doesn't have much room to work with. He has to get the ball out quick because he's scared of the punt block. So many situations, so many circumstances of why the 49ers should have won it. But hindsight is 20/20. They already won. We're talking about the possibility of things, and Kyren Williams fumbled the ball, so you got to give Kyle Shanahan his credit. He made the right decision. But Matt Jones really wanted this game tonight. He really wanted it. He was determined to show the people he can get the job done. And like I said, Bill Belichick ruined his career. That was don't pay attention to the things that happened when he was with the Patriots, because he's trying to tell you that he can get it done, and he's a tough mamma jamma. He never
looked that confident as he did today on the Patriots, honestly. Today, like a whole different quarterback right there. You would like if you told me just he ain't had no number on, told me who that was, I would never have guessed that was Mac Jones out there playing.
Yeah, at the same time, man, I would say Kyle Shanahan's offense is a more quarterback-friendly offense, and he designed his offense to his quarterback strengths, right? Yeah. And that's what we've seen tonight. You know, we seen Kyle Shanahan design plays and call the plays to Mac Jones' strength, and don't put him out of position, make him feel uncomfortable, or attempt to make reads and passes that he understands that Mac Jones may not be too successful with. But one thing you can't say about Mac Jones is that he isn't tough. I don't know if he was playing a trick on us, you know.
But he's out there on one leg.
Looking for a little sympathy, you know, looking for a little praise about him being this tough quarterback. But I don't know what it was, but he tricked me. He got me. He looked tough to me out there today.
For sure.
And, yeah, he looked like he was going through it. You know,
I think his time with the 49ers is going to get him a starting job because he's 3-0 right now with the 49ers. And the same thing happened with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was like, his career looked like it was over. He went to the 49ers for 1 year, and now he's been starting ever since he left the 49ers. So I feel like that confidence with Kyle Shanahan putting into his quarterbacks kind of like revived their careers for real. And I feel like the same thing about to happen with Mac Jones. He might end up with a starting job next year somewhere.
Man, the Bengals may need to pick up the phone, man, and reach out to the San Francisco 49ers and check on Mac Jones' availability, man. If they want to save their season, because Jake Browning, man, is straight up ass, man. I don't know, man. Jake Browning can't get the job done, you know. And I'm still debating, Matt. I'm still debating whether or not Mac Jones can be a starter in the NFL. Because I'm still leaning on the side that Mac Jones is maybe a bona fide backup quarterback, and that's where he belongs permanently, right? A lot of people may say that Mac Jones made an argument to take over for Brock Purdy, and I think that is I think people are reaching a little bit when you come to saying that, you know. Maybe people were looking at the first half and, you know, jumping to conclusion based on the first half, right? And then you seen the second half, the Rams came down and made adjustments to whatever Mac Jones' strengths were and took away all those short passes. Then Mac Jones had to play uncomfortable, get the ball down the field. And then you seen what almost happened. Interception. He almost threw interception after interception, you know? So, yeah, Mac Jones wasn't bad tonight, man. He wasn't bad at all. He wasn't bad at all. He really wanted it.
For real.
He really wanted this game. He really wanted this game. And you can't say he isn't tough. If Mac Jones would have landed with the right coach, a good coach, you know, a coach that is a quarterback whisperer pretty much early in his career, I think Mac could have had some success in the NFL. Or he could have been a successful quarterback. You know, you see a lot of quarterback land on teams that don't have the shit together, or, you know, the coaching staff isn't too good, right? See, I think Geno Smith was a perfect example as well. You know, Geno Smith went to the Jets, New York Jets, and, you know, that coaching carousel over there was all over the place. Then he get to the Seahawks and he shows that he can be a lot better than he was with the New York Jets. So maybe the same situation with Mac Jones. I don't know, man. Maybe they burnt him out, beat him up too bad, and he can't even bounce back. But I don't know, man. I think he could have did a lot better than he did when he was with the Patriots if he would have landed at a different spot, different organization, and someone that really motivated him and had his back. I think that's, at the end of the day.
It was a weird situation when he was in New England. He was getting pulled for 2-minute drills, then put back in the game, and then taken out again. It was like, how can he ever build up his confidence if you just like pulling him in key situations and not lead him out there to play through it? So it was like a lot going on over there that can really break a quarterback confidence, man. You see that a lot with quarterbacks. Once they lose the confidence, in their head, they start making the simple mistakes.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff was done on purpose to Matt Jones when he was with the New England Patriots. I don't think it was a coincidence he was being pulled out of games, put back in games, just treated basically unfairly. And being that he was a first-round draft pick, there's a standard for first-rounders, period, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that was done. I think that was done with some egregious intentions and things like that. People wasn't getting along. And players was pawns in that war between Mr. Kraft and Bill Belichick. And here we are now, But like I was talking about, the Rams defense tried to make halftime adjustments to stop Matt Jones from hitting those underneath routes, right? Because Matt Jones was on fire the first half, basically throwing the ball 10 yards or less. He was throwing the ball underneath the linebackers, the cornerbacks, and then all the plays were designed that way, right? And then, like I say, the Rams went into halftime, they made adjustments. Then Darius Williams tried to jump a route coming back out of halftime, but he was hit with pass interference. He couldn't execute like he needed to. Number 31, Darius Williams. Everybody knew these short, quick passes was coming. He didn't take the right angles. He didn't put himself in the right position to make the play. Boom, got a pass interference. A few plays later, Jones, he had a high-low concept, and then the cornerback bit on the underneath route. Then boom, Matt Jones hit him with a 25-yard completion. So Matt Jones and the Rams, they was kind of, playing a little checkers, a little chess. Mm-hmm. And and Matt Jones kept delivering, right? He delivered. He completed that 25-yard pass, right?
He was out there connecting with his another expatriate, Kendrick Bourne. He out there had 142 yards.
Yeah, man. Good to see Kendrick Bourne getting back, to his old self. He had a lot of drops pretty much this season. So, he had like 1 or 2 drops this game. Mm-hmm. He got to bounce back, man. He got to bounce back. Yeah, got to bounce back. But, yeah, that high-low, taking away those short passes from Matt Jones, man, that's what really did it to him in the second half because they, 49ers wasn't able to put up much points. I think they only scored like 7 points in the second half because the Rams adjustment, And then when the Rams defense go back and watch the tape, they're going to realize how many opportunities they had to make, on Matt Jones, being that he was throwing all these short routes in front of them. They just had to play more aggressive. They chose not to play aggressive, not too aggressive, and lost the game.
Yeah,
he lost the game.
That one pass at the end of the game to get that field goal. When they dropped the interception, it was going straight to another defender anyway. So it could have been an interception either way. They both two people jumped
the defender in front of the one that was behind him may have prevented the team from getting interception because the guy behind him was going to catch that ball clean.
It was coming straight to him.
It was coming straight to him, The guy in front of him got in the way, So shout out to the 49ers. Shout out to Matt Jones. He got a victory. Got a victory against the Los Angeles Rams and Matthew Stafford. Number 1 in the NFC West now. So, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
A good divisional win.
Yeah, a good divisional win tonight, man. Next Thursday night, what we got. We got the Eagles versus the Giants. Thursday night football, baby. Mm-hmm. That's going to be another good one, man. I don't know if Jackson Dart is going to be ready for that pressure right there, but this is when you make a name for yourself.
Yep.
Show up and show out. Big time players show up in big time games, and this will be a big time game for Jackson.
I'm definitely going to be tuned in this weekend to see what he do.
I'm going to see, So now we want to talk about Shedeur Sanders, man. Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel starting, Shedeur Sanders possibly, taking over for Lamar Jackson if he would choose to be drafted to the Baltimore Ravens. All these shenanigans going on about Shedeur Sanders. Rex Ryan telling him to shut up and focus on his work and things like that, all out of line, So there's a lot of things we want to talk about with Shedeur, and we have to get into it, you know what I mean? But if y'all be rocking with me, y'all make sure y'all join these live streams when I'm on here Monday, Thursday, Saturdays, sometimes Saturday and sometimes Sunday, or most Sundays. You know what I mean? If y'all been rocking with me, y'all know that I was right again. I think this was the previous live that I stated, man, that Shedeur Sanders, it wasn't surprising. I know nobody was thinking that Shedeur Sanders would be the third string quarterback when Dillon Gabriel is named the starter, right? And now we're here. Joe Flacco is the backup quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders is the third string quarterback.
Just like
Who
you
would have
said,
ever
man.
thought? Who would have ever thought? You know? So what does that mean? What does that mean? If Dillon Gabriel struggles, Joe Flacco will come back in the game? Does that make sense?
It don't.
Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense unless Stefanski doesn't want two rookies taking the field at the same time, right? Pretty much in the same game. But if that's the case, if Flacco has to relieve Dillon Gabriel because Dillon Gabriel struggles, then the game where Shedeur Sanders is named the starter or he gets his chance to play, Joe Flacco should be Shedeur backup just as he was for Dillon Gabriel, right? That should how the scenario should work.
It should, but you never know with them Browns, man.
But I'm thinking this is a fair competition, so I'm trying to see it out. I want to make, I want to see Shedeur Sanders get on the field. I think he should have the opportunity, right? So if this is a fair competition, this is how things should play out. I wasn't expecting Shedeur Sanders to be named the third string quarterback when Dillon Gabriel is being named the first string quarterback. I thought Joe Flacco would be the third string quarterback and be a mentor to these young men and teach them how to grow as a professional and so on and so forth, right? And that is not the case, right? And I bet Kevin Stefanski is praying harder than he ever prayed in his life, hoping Dillon Gabriel works out. I know he is hoping Dillon Gabriel works out. But Coach Prime said it best. Coach Prime said his son, Shedeur Sanders, is unflappable. And when I say unflappable, I mean unflappable. Because when Dillon Gabriel was announced, when it was announced that Dillon Gabriel was the starter this week, the reporters had to get Shedeur Sanders' take on Dillon being named the starter.
They probably asked Shedeur before they asked Dillon.
They thought it was at Shedeur Sanders' locker before they was at Dillon Gabriel locker to talk about Dillon Gabriel's star, But besides them asking him about Dillon Gabriel starting, the news, wherever he heard it from, but I'm pretty sure he heard it from the coaches first. And that got to be a shock to anyone that's in a competition that the person you're in competition with got the edge on you, right? That has to hit anybody the wrong way, right? But here is Shedeur Sanders being questioned after the news broke that Dillon Gabriel will be the starter. Let's check it out.
Quarterback. Vocally, anything to say?
I guess one more. I guess what do you think you have to show? Show to the coaches just to.
What do you say?
How much has Joe been important to both you and Dillon in terms of your guys' development to this point?
Man,
Y'all might.
Man, listen, man. Shedeur Sanders, man, he ain't doing nothing but having fun. If y'all can't see the young man smiling, doing the best that he can because our attention is always, surrounding him. He's just having fun. But being that all eyes are always on Shedeur, people are going to make this a bigger deal than it really is. This is not a big deal at all. This is not a big deal at all. It's a young man having fun with the media. But he's a quarterback, and his position and name garners a lot of attention. So what does everyone want to do? make it into something that it's not. And like I said, that feeling of, that feeling like you've lost the competition as a competitor, man, that is not a good feeling. That is not a good feeling at all, no matter who you are. And when Shedeur Sanders thought about how to respond, all he could think about was Rex Ryan. Rick Ryan Cummings telling the world Shedeur talks too much. He needs to shut up, get in the film room and study. So what does Shedeur do? You just seen it. Try not to talk and give people something to say. But of course, Shedeur having fun, not saying anything. It's going to get more attention than him actually saying something about Dillon Gabriel, like you said, Dries. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They probably came to Shedeur Sanders' locker before they went to Dillon Gabriel locker when Dillon Gabriel was when it was announced that Dillon Gabriel would be the starter. How pathetic is that?
All right, you don't see no reporter talking to Jameis Winston when they said Jackson Dart the starter.
You see, you haven't seen one hot take or one cut up clip about Jameson speaking about Jackson Dart being the starter. We don't hear that. We heard Jameson speaking at the beginning of the season about what he wanted to do for that team and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. That's not something they normally do, man. They don't go to the third string quarterback say, "Hey, how you feel about the second string starting this week?" But got for Shedeur.
Yeah, that's just wild that this young rookie, 5th round rookie, has to deal with this, and it's a part of his life. So hope he's dealing with it the best he can. But the best way he can. I was thinking how Kevin Stefanski should have and could have handled this, right? And the best way Kevin Stefanski could have made himself look much better as a coach if he had started out the season with Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders the starter and Joe Flacco the backup, right? So Joe Flacco is the backup. These two young rookies are fighting it out to be the starter. And then when they struggle or the game is getting too much or the Cleveland Browns can't win any games, now bring Joe Flacco in to relieve one of them because they need a break. They need a reset. And I think that would have made Stefanski look like a better coach. And he would have had every reason necessary to ride out with Joe Flacco for the rest of the season if Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel didn't work out, which he pretty much wanted to do. Now, it's possible Kevin Stefanski will look like he is playing musical chairs with his quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel will struggle. There is no doubt about that. He is a rookie. This is his first live action. I'm trying to use my words correctly, right? I think he has all the basics for a quarterback, but I don't know if he has that it factor to lead a team in crunch time. He could look good in the first half, just like Matt Jones did. But when the team goes in for halftime and they make adjustments or they design plays strictly for you and how you play and your favorite target, things change for your quarterbacks. And Dillon Gabriel, I don't know if he has the it factor to overcome all those circumstances. Joe Flacco time is long past, so I don't know why Shedeur Sanders isn't the backup quarterback. But like I said, it could seem a little weird or not too confident in it if you're the head coach to have a rookie coming in starting for the first game and then you want to have a rookie quarterback, right? So on the surface, it could look a little weird. But if that is the case, like I said, Kevin Stefanski had to handle things in the correct manner if you want to go about it that way, But that's what I'm waiting to see, man. I'm waiting to see Dillon Gabriel in crunch time when the game is on the line, how he performs. I don't want to see everybody out here, hating on Dillon Gabriel, because we're rooting for Shedeur Sanders or, rooting for Dillon Gabriel's downfall and things like that, man. That is unnecessary. And man, you shouldn't roll like that, I hope Dillon Gabriel does a great job. I hope he goes out there and he delivers.
Right.
Like he's supposed to. You know, when
Yeah,
Shedeur
I think
Sanders' time comes, his time is going to come. What you gonna say?
I think Shedeur a little excited right now, man. I feel like he one step closer to becoming a starter. They
Exactly.
already made the call, so I think he like got a little excitement. Like, all right, one down, I'm coming up next. Like, I feel like that's the way he walking around right now, preparing to one day, maybe this season, be a starter as well.
Exactly. I mean, why not? Why not feel like that? You know, why not feel like he's one play away from being able to get an opportunity to start now? You know, the same person he was drafted with in the same class is up. If he's up, why can't Shedeur be up? Just because they have him third string, that doesn't mean he won't get opportunity. So yeah, if I was in Shedeur Sanders' position, I would feel the same way like you're saying, Dries. Like I would be preparing, thinking my opportunity is right around the corner. You know, but why does most of these comments from Stefanski and the Browns offensive players sound like they're taking shots at Shedeur when they're talking about Dillon Gabriel starting this week? Joe Flacco and Kevin Stefanski are consistent when they're talking about Dillon Gabriel preparation since he joined the team. Dillon Gabriel get nothing but praise from Stefanski and Flacco and other teammates about his approach, you know, to being a professional and preparing to start in the first game. And y'all let me know if these comments sound like they're taking shots at Shedeur when they're trying to commend Dillon Gabriel, or is this just me thinking outside of the box too far? Let's check it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from the second he's been here, he's been working very hard. Very intelligent young man. He's done a nice job throughout practice, and you know he's been this whole season. He's been learning how to get yourself ready and understand the rhythm of an NFL week and what that looks like as a backup, and obviously now feel like he's ready to go in as a starter.
That's one.
Opportunity. You can tell he takes it seriously just by the way he studies and you know his intent in the meeting rooms and on the practice field. So,
Joe, I know you've been.
Put that one again.
This opportunity. You can tell he takes it seriously just by the way he studies and you know his intent.
You could tell he takes it seriously, the way he studies and his intent. Doesn't everyone take it seriously?
Right.
I mean, is that a compliment, taking it seriously, or is that a shot? Because they're trying to say someone else in the quarterback room doesn't take things too seriously, you know? Now let's listen to Kevin Stefanski again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from the second he's been here, he's been working very hard. Very intelligent young man. He's done a nice job throughout practice, and you know he's been this whole season. He's been learning how to get yourself ready and understand the rhythm of an NFL week and what that looks like as a backup, and obviously now feel like he's ready to go in as a starter.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. I might be a little biased. Sorry about that. I might just be a little biased and something like that. But, you know, whenever they're talking about Dillon Gabriel's preparation and how he's approached the season and being a professional, it just always seems like they're taking a shot at Shedeur Sanders based on the negative energy everybody's putting out there on Shedeur Sanders. Right?
Yeah.
Talking about his preparation, talking about him not taking, you know, things too serious in the classroom and so on and so forth. So I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a weird situation. This is the most weirdest, unique situation I have ever seen or, you know, covered in my life, you know, and I haven't seen nothing like it.
Yeah, I just think they were saying what they supposed to say as the new quarterback about to start. I don't feel like it was no shots to where Shedeur, just like, yeah, he's ready. So
Right.
he's gonna start this week.
Could be 100% true, man. But it's just always, you know, these comments just, I guess they just hit us the wrong way. But, you know, talking about preparation and being ready when they're the ones talking about Shedeur. He doesn't prepare well and doesn't take things seriously. But now the news came out about Lamar Jackson not playing this week, and gave everybody another reason to get out of their, I ain't gonna say it, get out of their panties, but to start acting crazy or whatnot, But on the surface, it looks like Shedeur Sanders made a bad decision to ask the Ravens.
Man, you can't. Right? Yeah, that's what people are saying, but you don't know that. Like everybody expect Lamar to play the whole season for the next for the next year's coming. Nobody in the world would have guessed he'll be missing games. So people are saying that just talking.
Yeah, even with that being said, if Lamar Jackson misses 1 or 2 games, what does that do for Shedeur Sanders if he went to that team and he got to relieve Lamar Jackson for 1 or 2 games? Now Lamar Jackson is back. Now you sit behind him for the next 4 or 5 years. Or when your contract is up, now you're going to another team and, whatever the circumstances may be at that team. So, just on the surface, everybody wants to scream Shedeur Sanders was stupid for not letting the Ravens draft him. But I still don't agree. I still don't agree that Shedeur Sanders should have agreed to play for the Ravens. In Cleveland, he is supposed to get a fair chance in a wide open quarterback competition to prove he can be QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. He's supposed to get a fair shot.
Right.
We haven't seen it yet, and we don't know if that's the situation. Now, just with that alone makes Shedeur Sanders choosing the Cleveland Browns a better situation than the Baltimore Ravens. Just based on that already. You know what I mean? Because if Shedeur Sanders was drafted to the Ravens, Shedeur would have spent most of his career as a backup to Lamar Jackson.
It wouldn't be no competition.
There is no competition. You're playing against the potential MVP of the NFL. How and when do you think they're going to give you opportunity to showcase your talent or potentially take Lamar Jackson's position? It will never happen,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't ever see the Ravens giving up on Lamar Jackson anytime soon. With that being said, in the next 4, 5 seasons, Lamar Jackson will be around.
They might give up on Harbaugh first before Lamar Jackson.
It's Harbaugh might probably be going before Lamar Jackson, because there's a lot of things going on with Harbaugh, but we're not here to talk about Harbaugh right now. So we'll see, man, how Dylan Gabriel's going to do this weekend. I hope he does good. I hope he goes out there and does his thing, And when Shedeur Sanders get his opportunity, I hope Shedeur Sanders goes out there and delivers and, plays just as good as he needs to play. And that's what we're waiting to see. So shout out to Shedeur, shout out to Dylan Gabriel, shout out to Joe Flacco. Kevin Stefanski needed to get it together. That's the only problem we have in Cleveland right now is Kevin Stefanski. I think everything else is pretty copacetic. We just have to see. So when we're watching Dylan Gabriel play, they're going to be the first game on TV Sunday, 9:30 in the morning. The first half is cool. We watch that, enjoy it. It's entertainment. Enjoy yourself, right? But when the games started getting, a little in the second half, when the game gets into the second half and Cleveland Browns made it a touchdown, or they may be down by 3 points, or the Cleveland Browns may be up by 3 or 4 points, and they need to run the 4-minute drill to stop the Vikings from getting the ball back. They might need to score points within 3 minutes, and run the 2-minute drill, So let's watch. Let's pay attention to that second half and see, what Dylan Gabriel can do for his team when it's crunch time, when his team needs him the most, because that's what matters most for quarterbacks. All that first half stuff we seen tonight from Matt Jones, that's nice and cute. But when the game is on the line and we can't call plays to suit your abilities, and call plays to your strength, we have to call plays to beat the defense. How can you deliver, right? That's what we're waiting to see from Dylan Gabriel.
Now it's gonna be a good test too this weekend versus that Vikings defense.
Yeah, against Brian Flores defense, man. Yeah, they play really good defense. They didn't play as well last game, but they'll bounce back, and let's see. Let's see, man, especially against a big quarterback. They're going to be dialing these blitzes up left and right, and boom, we're going to see how that goes. But now I want to talk about Sauce Gardner, man. Sauce Gardner, my brother, not my brother, my boy. You know, he probably cussed me out if he heard me call him my brother. We all brothers, Sauce Gardner. Hey, relax, brother. We all brothers, man. But Sauce Gardner thinks he's getting more penalties called on him than usual because his team sucks, basically. He didn't learn when the league introduces new rules. No one gives a damn about helping the cornerbacks out. No one wants to help us out. He didn't learn that yet.
They want to see points.
It's exciting for the fans to see touchdowns. They want to see points on the board. They want to score a touchdown so they can light the fireworks and they can be all over the sky, just lighting up the sky, fireworks everywhere. That's what's exciting to the fans. Touchdowns, not us D'ing up a wide receiver and stopping him from catching the football. They want you to get scored on, my boy. Also, there is an unwritten rule that receivers are allowed to push off if it's not too obvious. Yeah, receivers are allowed to push off. Every play, especially when it's a deep ball, receivers are going to push off pretty much every time. It's a natural reaction for them. But it's our job, and it's Sauce Gardner's job to prevent the receivers from pushing off or to negate the receivers pushing off. It's not our job to complain. We tried to complain for y'all 10, 20 years ago. It got us nowhere. We're here. We have to deal with it. Playing cornerback isn't for the weak. You have to be very strong-minded to play cornerback. There are so many disadvantages corners have to overcome to succeed or to have some success playing cornerback in the National Football League. Let's check Sauce Gardner out. Sauce Gardner frustrated with officials. He says, I get more calls. He said, I get called for more stuff. What does that mean? I get called for more stuff. It's like he was trying to watch what he say, but he wanted to let it be known a little bit, but he was scared to say it all the way. Say, I get called for more stuff. So let's get into it. Here is Sauce Gardner. He says, I'm personally frustrated because I feel like me personally, us not winning. I watch football all the time, and I just feel like, I don't know if this is wrong to say, but I think I get called for more stuff just based off us not winning, Gardner said. I watch these winning programs, and there are some egregious things, and it don't get called. Letting the players play. I got called on something today, and I'm supposed to let him push off on the top of the route. He said, nope, I'm not. I ain't getting called. I ain't going on ESPN. No, sir, not this weekend. I just feel like us not winning, that's what's going on here. Gardner said, we don't win, and we don't get the calls we should get. And we get called for stuff we probably shouldn't get called for. You got a lot going on, brother. You got a lot going on. But at the end of the day, it sucks when you're on a losing team. That's just how it goes. If your team is losing, it sucks all the way around. And losing doesn't help whatever Sauce Gardner is complaining about. That's not going to help. So go out there and figure out how to win. Kick Justin Fields in his butt and get him together.
Yeah, because them definitely false starts and stuff like that. That's on y'all not being prepared. I mean, I can see what he was saying. Like sometimes it'd be a bang bang playing with him for passing interference and things like that. But like it was times they had like 2 false starts in a row. Like that's like not being prepared for the game right there. So you can't make an excuse for your whole team getting all these penalties.
you know. And I understand, man. I understand perception is most people's reality. People perceive a lot of things that they hear or things that's being promoted on TV. They perceive those things to be true. Even Sauce Gardner was caught up in the hype about him being the top cornerback in the league, but his production said otherwise. Of course, I'm the one that's going to say what needs to be said. And y'all, if y'all been rocking with me, y'all know we had a little powwow. And, I talked about, him being the rookie of the year. And I thought Tyreek Woolen should have got that. I think Sauce Gardner has 3 interceptions in 4 seasons right now, And it's just because a player has the media behind him making it seem like that player is playing lights out doesn't really mean that it stands to be true. Mm-hmm. Sauce never showed me any signs of him being a great corner or all pro or anything like that. Now, Coach Prime has recently came to the front or to the King's table, and he said 95% of DBs play not to get beat, and the other 5% play to go get the football. This is what I've been trying to express to y'all since I've been on this thing rocking. 95% of the defensive backs out there, they play not to get beat. It's only 5% of us play to go get that ball. And Sauce Gardner definitely isn't a cornerback that plays to get that football. Mm-hmm. But let's check Coach Prime out, see what he had to say.
Life and the thought process and the mindset of. Let me tell you something about good DBs.
I'll start that over.
That's the life and the thought process and the mindset of a good cornerback. Well, let me tell you something about good DBs. And I want everybody out there listening to this. This is coming from him. A great DB is only 95%. Let me say this differently. 95% of defensive backs play not to get beat. 5% play to make a play. I'm looking for that 5.
Hello. Hey, I'm gonna rewind this part. I'm finna tell you. I'm finna steal this from Coach Prime. Coach Prime say, I'm finna speak, and this is coming from him. Letting y'all know this is coming from him. Thought that shit, Coach Prime. Coach Prime said it's coming from him.
Life and the thought process and the mindset of a good cornerback. Well, let me tell you something about good DBs. And I want everybody out there listening to this. This is coming from him.
This is coming from him. Y'all ain't catch that. This is coming from him. Talk that shit, Coach Prime. Let him know this is coming from him. But I'm 100% agree with Coach Prime. Like he said, man, this is coming from him right here. I agree. 95% of DBs play not to get beat. You got to separate yourself and want to go get the football and make a difference. You have to be a part of the 5% if you want to be considered great in my book. I don't care what the media, Pro Football Talk, NFL.com tell you how good you are. They select you to be in a rookie of the year. You're all pro. That stuff, those accolades doesn't mean anything. It's what I've learned. You have to watch and see what these players are doing. And they have to produce statistically to be up there on the board. There's just no way around it. Right. And stopping receivers from catching passes is nothing special. I continue to tell y'all that. That's what our job as a cornerback is. That's what we're supposed to do. Stop receivers from catching the ball. That's just called doing your job. Doing extra is game changing. You understand what I'm saying? Doing more than stopping your receiver from catching the ball. Everyone telling Sauce how great he is because of the attention he garners would make any player feel like they are on top or they're the best of the best, best in the world. At the end of the day, the NFL doesn't give us cornerbacks a right to complain. And it's Sauce's job to go out there and figure out how to make a play without causing a penalty. because complaining doesn't get you nowhere. And we can't make excuses. So stop making excuses, Sauce Gardner. Your team losing. Y'all suck. That's just how it goes. You can change things because your position doesn't require you to need the quarterback to throw you the football or anything like that. Whenever the ball comes your way, make a play. Change the momentum of the game. Change the energy of your team. Instead of complaining about the referees, that's not going to get you anywhere. They don't allow us defensive backs to complain. That's just how it goes.
You talk about change. You talking about taking the ball, changing the game. 3 of their 4 games, it's been one possession game. You get an interception, you could change literally the outcome of your game.
Turnover, man. Turnover. That's all interceptions are. Is a turnover. It's a fancy word for a turnover. Interception is a turnover.
They lost to the Steelers.
Games, you know. Huh?
They lost to the Steelers by 2. They lost to the Buccaneers by 2. And they lost to the Dolphins by 6. Get an interception, get your offense the ball back. You could be a game changer.
Be a game changer, you know? Be a game changer. If you put yourself in position to go get the football, you have to worry about them calling all these penalties they continue to call, man. So, you know, that's Sauce Gardner. We had to tap in with him, man. Another good game tonight. Was proud to see Mac Jones get his feet wet a little bit. You know, he got BS'd around with the Patriots. He went to the Jaguars. That was probably worse than being with the Patriots. And now he's in a good situation where someone can groom him or help him, you know, be the best that he can possibly be. So I'm happy for that for Mac Jones, you know.
Yeah, and shout out to the 49ers too, man. They won that game without four starting offensive players. They didn't have Brock Purdy. They didn't have Ayuk didn't play all season, but they didn't have George Kittle. I mean, they missing like a whole lot of people over there, and they were still able to win that divisional game against a good Rams team.
A good division opponent, right? Exactly. So yeah, man, that goes to show the coaching, man. It's pretty good coaching on that team, and that team is coached pretty well by Kyle Shanahan and his staff. So when you have that many players missing in the starting lineup, and you still get the victory, you gotta commend the coaches, man. So shout out to those coaches for the 49ers, man. Hey, I said week 10, man, and we're gonna continue to put that in the air and you know, put that energy out there that week 10 Shedeur Sanders will be playing, or he will get an opportunity for the Cleveland Browns. So we have to continue to watch that and see, man. So the algorithm is finally getting back, man. I don't know what they did, man. They had them blackballed me, had them shadow banned me, whatever they did, whatever they call this stuff on YouTube. We're finally getting it back together, man. So we gonna be up and it's stuck, man. So we're gonna be vibing out, and now we're finally on our way. We back on our way, man.
Make sure y'all subscribing, sharing, liking, all that. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
Shout out Joanna, always in the building. Joanna B. Williams. Shout out to Jamal Bailey. Oh, man. Shout out to Mr. International, of course. You know, first person coming through. You know, shout out to Leon. Shout out to Bruce Lee, New England Patriots. Shout out to Jimmy Jump. So he grabbed his knee, man, like he broke it, man. I know. Matt Jones, that was a scary looking situation, man. I was ready to cancel Mac Jones, but after I seen the replay, I was kind of like, what happened? You know, he didn't really get folded up or bended up, but
yeah,
you know, that's why I say I don't know if he was looking for some extra attention or some sympathy or things like that, or he just wanted to be the hero tonight, because that was a little weird, man. That definitely was a little weird, man. That definitely was a little weird, man. But yeah, what else we got, man? What else happening, man? What else happening? So Coach Prime them, you know, they play Saturday night as well. So we have to talk about that. We're going to get into that on Saturday. Hopefully, man, he get his first victory against a divisional, tier 1 divisional 1 program, you know. So we root for Coach Prime. So it's Thursday night vibes, man. Thursday night vibes. I'm Asante, Mr. Pick 6 Samuel.
It's your boy 2-3 Drees.
Man, we're gonna see y'all next time, man. We are out of here.